mispronunciation or just correct, and I will update that.
We're live.
And after, obviously, the class, we're going for a pub. Thank you very much.
All right. Cool. Yeah, so we're going to take a bit of a workshop session approach to this, partially owing to last week's. We can start. I think this will be okay for a start. We'll mix and match. So the basic principle is we're going to do a workshop theme this week, since I think some people are just enjoying football instead. So we didn't want to leave anyone behind, but we kind of wanted those of you who bothered to show up to have a fun time. So we're going to solve.
I've got to say, there are a lot more people here than we expected.
Yeah, yeah, we're really surprised.
Clearly, not a lot of football fans in the room, except me.
Except you, but you showed up, so you made the effort. That's the important part.
I've done these exercises before.
So it's going to be a mix of sort of working on stuff and maybe showing a bit of live coding. If anyone's got sort of anything along what we've already learned they'd like us to cover, live code or whatever, then we'll be very happy to do it. But we're going to jump straight in. And so you've got the lovely URL here, the week 4 group exercise, which is actually from our last semester, so it's relatively well tried and tested.
Do we want to do it as a GitHub?
And you're completely right, we are going to do it as a GitHub Classroom, and I've completely forgotten that. Did we? Let me go to Classroom. Ignore this link for now. Let me just grab you the link. You put it in Classroom assignments, right?
No, I haven't. I don't know.
Ah, so I got it. Who would like to do it as a group and who would prefer to work on their own? Groups? Hands up for group. 1 for a group. 2 for a group. If you're not putting your hand up, you want to do it on your own. So this is an exercise you can either do alone or as a group, but we have to set it up one way or the other. So who would rather be in a group? All right, it's a group. So look for exercises. Cool. So week 4 is vector exercises, right?
All sorts of guys.
Okay. 10th class, isn't it? Is it the 10th class or the 11th?
10th.
10th. Right. Start code.
No, we're not broadcasting.
We should be. Right, here we go. Is it the 10th class? Cool, okay. And off we go. Okay. Cool. So your link is going to be this. Where can I go to paste it that's really easily readable? Yeah, if everyone's on the Slack, that's the best way. Right, there's the link there. I'll stick it on the screen just because I can. There you go. If you can't read that, I don't know what will help. Let me turn it on. So arrange into teams. You should be able to sort yourselves. Wish.
So oh, you mean as in groups, not as in a group?
I mean, physically speaking, it's possible for everybody to be a single group with this if you guys want to organise that way. So you can create. So we can create a team. So pick your team name and then make sure everybody else is going to join it after you've created it.
you sure that link?
Yeah, I just clicked. It's an O, it's a capital O. So if I go, let me just go back here. It's streaming, right? The stream is live, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
And without seeing
Let me yell something.
So you want it? Maybe you just need to refresh. Accepted. Assignment's been created. No, we just do we just clone them?
Once you've got into your team, so someone should have created it, you can join it. You come to a repo, you can clone that, and that's your team's repo. Yeah.
At some point, we understood that we were going to have talks by the geniuses on the unit testing.
We are going to cover unit testing, but that comes later. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the people, it's quite a lot of broad concept to sort of get people into, so we kind of want to just get them into programming first. I mean, so if you're comfortable with that kind of concept already, I'd recommend Catch 2 to play with. We're not.
The exercise actually uses that.
It doesn't expose it per se.
Shows you what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So these exercises actually use Catch, but it's kind of we're not teaching unit testing. It's kind of hidden away. But anyway, meanwhile.
It's designed for Windows 95.
Have you seen that on the back of my map?
You even have the correct t-shirt.
Sorry?
You even have the correct t-shirt.
Well, not quite. This is a rugby shirt.
Closing.
Yeah. Full.
Have you seen what's happened to my case?
No. Oh no. That sucks. Get a welder.
Emailed the punk case. They send me replacement.
Right. I'm going to switch screens. Hopefully this will not fail miserably. And we're going to look at my, where are you? VMware. Ooh, that's not a window. Let's try capturing a screen. Display? Let's try display. That's not what I want. Let's try. Christ, what can I do? Scene, text, video, window. Compile it. You should be able to compile it and run it.
So the first one is returning an exercise from CPP. Oh, I see. Okay. It's returning a true or false. Is either fine. So it's return.
Okay, if I can get OBS to play nicely. Alright, let's try this. Sorry?
Is there some kind of like make C life don't open overlining box, just open exercise? Yes. It's on exercise 1 HTTP. No. Open the whole thing. Yeah. I got that bit. I don't understand what you mean. Like how it's
So if you divide by 2, it remains 0 or 1. And it's C++.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did the whole project.
Right, if I can get OBS to play nicely, I can stream this. Come on. I know I can do this. Here we go. Let me just do a new window.
Expect to see that.
Oh, good. That's not very good, is it? It's okay. It'll be fixed in a sec. Let's see. Fit this. Transform. No, need to fit to screen. Come on. Say that again. It's not scaling. Hold on. Preview scaling. It's not really great, is it? Okay, let's. I want to end the stream quickly and restart OBS. Okay, we're streaming to infinity. Cool. Right. That's good enough. Okay. So in theory, we have a thing. Is it stream? Do you see this on the stream?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, let's just make this bigger. view. Is there a presentation? Where's the presentation? Here we go. So I'm guessing everybody's working through exercise 1, hopefully. So we've got the is even one. Are there any teams who figured out is even so far? 1, 2, 3. Who else has figured out is even? We've got 3 teams so far. One's at the back. Is there anyone who doesn't want me to solve it? I'll tell you what, let's ask for a solution. So, you guys have solved it. I'm picking on you. What's your solution? You. Yes, you. What's your solution? Yeah, that's good. I've got an alternative though.
Exclamation mark parentheses. It's not faster, Ollie. We went through this last time. It's not in any way better.
Are you talking about if it optimizes out
It's
specifically?
not in any way better.
What about
All
optimize?
you're doing is showing off that you. Oh, I understand how bitwise operations.
Exactly.
It's not better.
It's crucial information. It's crucial information.
It's not very impressive.
You guys.
I will just do exclamation mark parentheses I %2.
Also, that's wrong. That's correct.
Surely it does exactly the same.
Is it not necessarily the same CPU instruction? We did try it on Godbolt, didn't we? Yeah. But that is architecture specific.
I think this is more like the architecture.
Bit manipulation. Anyway, there's 2 solutions. You can either do silly.
I think this relies on 2 screens.
No, it's. Oh yeah, because it's a signed integer.
Simple code is better.
No, so I was going to say, if anyone wants a silly, overly complex solution, this is one. I'm not saying it's better. Idiomatic, modulo 2. All right, who has tackled?
Do XOR 1 equals to I or not?
Sorry?
If you want. You can do I XOR 1 and check if it is equal to I or not.
You could do an XOR, but that would be more expensive than an AND.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So who's done count odd and has got it right? You watching YouTube comments? Count odd, anyone?
I will go in the
Library that you have to include for the standard CI.
IO stream.
If the test code doesn't output anything, you run it, it doesn't output anything.
It should at least say it was okay. You should get a one-liner that says okay.
This says process finished with exit code 0.
Let's have a look.
Okay. You take something to drink. I did a kit, I didn't know if also, what is every school in me? A lot of kids, officers, just some mission like
So I'm not so sure if this is just due to my editor or is this a real error?
You made a folder
I just want to use the iterations
somewhere else.
Yeah.
and then you guys just love it. It's giving me this red line. I don't know. But that could be just because this is a really old editor.
no, I don't want to put it in the folder. Why don't you do auto? Okay, so vector is const, which means that your type of is vector. Again, it's much easier.
Use auto?
Yes.
The whole thing is auto.
Okay,
Guys.
there you go. Now you
And then this.
See, let's see before the answer.
it's processing.
Oh, this is.
When it's finished processing.
Is this
I was trying to do it this way.
I need brackets? Do I need the phrases? Or this can work?
You needed to put it on the same line, I think. I'm not sure about that.
No, this
This should work?
Check the reference.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you. Obviously, check reference. Check CPP reference. See what
Because I am a rebel. Because I'm a rebel. Tell me what I want to know and then don't tell me what else. Okay, so yeah, absolutely.
So for count odd, I'm gonna
So, do you know
just to be facetious. Sorry. Your and one. No, because it does depend on two's complement. It does depend on two's complement, but yeah, it's platform specific. Although pretty much everything is two's complement these days.
But it comes with.
It does depend. So what?
It depends on the platform technically. It's not. Modulo 2 is the best way. Is the short answer. They should be able to hear me say that. So for you know, let's make this a bit more readable, and let's be strict.
Yeah, I do use Emacs, but I still have to do it.
Do you need CMake? Oh, I see. This is what I've been trying to do.
I was trying to.
She knows how to
forwarding reference to
It's not a forwarding reference. It's an auto-deduced reference. It's just auto. That's just. It's auto and. That's just automatic deduction of the type. But yeah,
it doesn't give you anything.
it gives you nothing over auto and. Yeah, of course. It's just a force of habit. There you go. If it makes you feel better.
It doesn't. I don't understand why.
I mean, technically,
Unless you want to field questions about.
if I replace it, what if I replace it with a vector of ball?
Not passing anything, but I can't get any
It'll bind
feedback.
constantly.
Actually, it will because it's const. Yes.
Everything is.
Yeah, of course.
But I tried the outing in the test. I tried.
So does everyone understand our count odd here? How this works?
I don't get. I just get gibberish.
I just break everything.
I gotta get going.
Like,
Oh,
no,
it's just to be honest,
I've
I'm not
just
really
broken
getting
it.
I'm here in person, but in spirit of.
So you did.
Unfixed.
Fix it.
You've done all
So
this
does
before.
this make sense? We've recycled our lovely function here to use it here. We have our return value set to 0. Take a const reference to each element in the vector. If it's not even, put the exclamation mark, increment ret, and then finally just return ret.
Question.
Question.
Oh no,
Uh,
give me the answer.
Are the collection specific iterators that will take a lambda?
Sorry?
Are there collection specific iterators that will take lambda?
Oh, someone wants to know about stood for each. Yeah, so there is a way we could do it that way as well, which I'm going to have to look at the reference because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yes, we can. So if I exit full screen, stood for each. But I don't remember the parameters. Is it begin and end? Is it just begin and end as lambda? Lambda. Okay, so never mind. I don't need to look at the reference. Why is that not? Okay, so an alternative method of doing this would be leaving ret alone. And you could do stood,
Like if I'm unsure whether
except I'd have to actually include algorithm, wouldn't I?
Pretty sure.
And you could do vec.begin. I don't know, would you recommend using stood begin, stood end? Doesn't really matter, does it? Begin and end are const, right? If you yeah.
It's a constructor, so you'll get.
And we'll explicitly capture auto. Sorry, I'm just.
probably
An even better way, or
You can make it return. Yeah.
You can only use an algorithm. Use the right.
Yeah, we could use standard count if. Well, it's. Alright, so there's another way to skin this cat.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Standard count if.
Yeah, we could skin the cat with count if as well. So, let's see, let me enable these.
Use a range of guys, can somebody take a look at mine? I'm stumped on the second one. Why if so I've done exactly the same here. I've started an iterator, ended an iterator.
Testing copy I think.
It's all the kind of gibberish that shows up. Like I was getting like this yellow bar here.
So those are the test values that I'm going to. So it's
if I change it to this one, and I do that, then I get.
I think there might be a template type that lets you override that. Let's see.
really big vector for the values to test.
Okay.
And that's showing you
All of the
values that
addresses.
it's yes.
Okay.
You haven't, obviously you get an error because you haven't actually released that function yet.
No, it's a different type. You can't. It's not strictly speaking correct.
Is he? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's passed. Okay, so then I need to go to testing. But I can't see the inputs that I'm testing. Or maybe I can. Now, let's try.
Or you can try printing them out.
Well, that's what I tried earlier, but I think it's because I was looking at the wrong thing that I do. That, I think. No.
It's a lot easier, by the way, to use the range based.
To be honest, that thing is
Okay, I'll try and refactor that.
Also, there's one problem with your count if it returns it's a narrowing conversion. That's why it's highlighted. It's complaining about it. So for each is okay. I mean, you'll just overflow, which is undefined behavior anyway.
Yeah, because standard difference returns a different type of vector.
It's the difference type of the vector. Yes.
Maybe long run.
Who's done even sum?
These guys are still working on count if.
They're still working on. What do you mean they're working on? You mean they're working on count odd?
Count on,
Yeah. Has anyone done even sum?
Yeah.
He's okay. We've got one who's done even sum.
Just a little.
Can we go a bit slower?
We're gonna slow right down. So since we're
Because like really frustrated. I can't get any outputs, or I don't recognise any outputs. So what does it mean?
So just a bit.
So this is my standard CL.
I think in the test I just generated a bunch of random numbers.
Okay. So right. So count off. That's number of odd numbers.
does anybody need help?
No.
No. That's good.
Maybe I can.
Even sum is the same as the lambda, but your red plus equal is even element question mark element colon 0.
Let me have a read. Even sum. No. No, because the is even is a boolean. That's not the value of the actual object.
Well, your implementation.
Does anyone want?
Equals zero.
Sorry.
Your implementation equals even. Needs equal 0.
Oh, yeah, that's no good, is it?
P1. Now, if you're passing me a reference vector, to take a constant reference, you're passing a new vector. You're passing me a constant reference vector, so I've got to produce a new vector inside the scope. And I just figure that I think that into a new vector.
So yeah.
Can I do the math?
But you've got that. That's correct. You made it more complicated than it needs to be. You just remove those two lines.
Okay. Oh, just equals that. But when it this is the thing. When I return
You're returning by value. You're returning by value. So you're returning because you have a type of it. You just return it directly. You won't actually copy it. You just find out. Because it's returning the value, it has a constant structure. Vector has a constant structure. Believe it, you return it back to you.
So no, I can return vector. But that, so I don't understand why that's not something I'm scope until it disappears.
Imagine the return type has its own special space for the object. So your one that lives in scope is moved into the return bit, the special space for the return. And that's given some
Right, so whatever's called this has got to say A equals call this one. And then you print out A.
Yeah, they can
also
auto made.
Yeah, so your new vector's not floating around. It has to be assigned something in the call.
They can call it out storing it, but it just means it will be pointed to the program.
Yeah,
It won't crash it.
Okay.
So return by value.
But the point is,
if you return a reference, that function return a reference, then you crash horribly. It's not a reference, it's a call.
yeah, but if you didn't have a constant on that call, I could change method in my function.
You can change it in line.
Thank you.
Does everyone understand these three solutions? Probably not the second and third. These are more advanced ones. This is the sort of raw C++ solution. This is using the standard library and some fancy C++ 11 and beyond features.
Is that on the Git?
Sorry?
Is that on Git? Somebody is asking on
This,
that.
no, but
There
it'll
is a
push off.
solutions branch on
There is a
it
solution.
that has solutions to all the exercises.
It's not a reference. Good question. Not a reference to reference, and it's my sort of. Basically, this is what's called a automatic use reference. So it combines to both L values and R values. It basically means it combines something that's got a name or something that hasn't got a name. It works for pretty much everything. Generally speaking, if you don't think you'll ever change your code in the way that you want it to work with R values and L values, you just use auto and. Auto and is just it's not a reference. This is like a C++ 11 thing. Didn't exist before that.
This would be an R value reference or a forwarding reference.
But what's it called
But
in
you're
terms of
not
production?
changing the value of LM, so constant auto would be better in the lambda.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, constant would be better there as well.
Or you could just write it because the parent function only, you know you're only going to get an int.
Might be generic.
Or anything count on a template. Let's do iterating.
You can do some debugging for me if you really want.
Sorry? Yeah, I didn't want people to have to worry about iterating yet.
No, I know. I'm joking.
All of these things should be solvable before.
Yeah, let me remove it because it's confusing. Don't worry about these auto ands, they're just me. Don't need to worry about them for a long time. In fact, I'll just go for const correctness while we're teaching good practice. No, it's not.
Everything.
I think it's useful to use auto. Just show you what you can.
Yeah.
Is everyone clear on what this is doing? This method one, the one we kind of wanted you to find and figure out. We use a range-based for loop. So we have for every element in the vector, which is obviously an int, but we deduce it with auto. We make it const, we don't want to modify it. And then we say if the number is even, because this takes an int, and this succeeds, so we know it must be an int. If it's not even, this exclamation mark says not is even, so if not even, increment rep. And then finally, after we get out of the loop, return rep. This is just fancy sugar. You can just do for constant and or just int, doesn't really matter.
Oh, I didn't iterate.
You didn't iterate?
I used an iterator, yeah. Because I was faffing around with different ideas because I didn't know how to change these.
You did it old school style, okay.
Yeah.
Technically
I've done it new school style for the others.
Yeah. So is it that actually the compiler expanded it to that?
Okay. Yeah, use range-based for loops for. Well, the other two so far. Some last one.
Has anybody reached even sum yet? Line 39. Who's done even sum? Done. 1, 2, 3. Nobody else though. 4. Okay. Who wants to give their solution?
Is valid for users to accumulate?
Yeah. I mean, you're being fancy.
Coming from you.
I mean, for the number of weeks in we are, you're being fancy.
What about using a bitwise operator?
A bitwise operator to accumulate to
extra fancy.
No, because you couldn't. How would you use a bitwise operator to add to do arithmetic?
I can use it as a condition in accumulator when I see that is.
Oh, sorry, you mean using a bitwise operator to do even sum?
Inside the lambda of accumulator.
Yeah, I think there's an argument that negative numbers.
Just as a condition. When it is odd, I sum 0, otherwise I sum 1.
So the argument, that's what I actually did for the first one. I just did and 1. But yeah, technically speaking, it's valid. There was the argument that depending on some imaginary machine out there that doesn't use 2's complement, it might not necessarily be correct for negative numbers. But who cares about imaginary machines?
The idiomatic way to write it is just use modulo, obviously. That's the most obviously readable way to cover programs.
No, I was just looking at the long line.
Do you want to give us your solution for even sum?
Even sum.
Yeah.
It's just a total int variable.
So you got. Let's see if I can understand your instructions. So you got int total. In total, yeah.
Yeah, and then I just put is. I just put int I.
Question: when are we supposed to push our code?
So you mean a for loop, yeah?
Yeah, for loop. And then if for loop is even previously. And then total equals total plus I. Does that make sense?
If is even lem, yeah. Excellent.
I'm sure you could probably do it in one line.
You could use standard library features to make a lambda and stuff. Sorry. It's code golf. It's not practical. It's just code golf. Can you? It's like, can you do it? Like, for the sake of showing you can do it. It's not. No, it's not something you should do. Unless it makes it more readable. If you can do something in one line that's short and more readable, absolutely. Because for example, right, I could do something like int total, but that's silly. That's a case where it's bad, right? There's no sensible reason to do that.
So, in terms of the ring flow, is there a ring flow and the difference between that and the fixed rate? Is there any difference?
No. The compiler literally expands this to a for, auto I equals blah.begin doesn't equal blah.end increment.
So this is also just for better readability.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Wait, does accumulate take a? No, it doesn't take an operand. No. There isn't an accumulate if, is there? No, can't use that. I mean, you could.
With range v3.
Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? A binary, a predicate. That's what I was looking for. The word predicate. Doesn't take a predicate, so you can't do it. You could do it. You could do.
Well, actually, maybe you could, because it does take a function object. So you could just add 0 to the total. Okay. So you actually could use.
Does it take a predicate? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It does. Op. The variable takes current accumulation value and the value of current element B. Const. Yeah, you could actually. So let's do it. Sort it out, I'm just going to make it brief. Is it the current and the element? Right?
If you're really going to do it, then do return with a ternary operator.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why doesn't it like that? It's the wrong English, but I tried.
What is it?
There's question B.
It's been all England so far.
Type 0 type input string can be dereferenced in empty code type 2. Oh, it's an iterator.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I think France is very good.
That's the accumulate version. Yeah, it's an iterator. It errors if it's not dereferenced.
The third item
So what's the question?
An initialized value on accumulate, I think. That's from Louis.
It's the initial value, correct? That's why I set it to 0. After correctly reading the reference. Also, should I return the current? It's current. Type be such that an object of type T can be assigned a value of rare. Are you supposed to return? Are you supposed to? But each call, are you meant to? So it's original, a dash, and then the element. So you do return the original. You do return the original. So it's correct. You don't return 0. If I return 0, it reset.
Is it uncommon to use this standard accumulate or standard for each?
Is it what?
Is it uncommon to use this standard accumulate or standard for each? Question from Louis.
Is it uncommon?
So,
I mean, that's a...
As a general rule, it seems better practice to use the named algorithms. However, when the loop is very simple, then there's nothing. You may as well use that. So there's a sort of Sean Parent who's come up with this rule, always preferring the algorithms. He has this sort of heuristic, this rule of thumb that if the loop is more than 4 lines, use an algorithm. So actually, all of these loops so far have been less than 4 lines. But that's just a rule of thumb. It's one guy's value.
There's potentially some gains depending on what algorithm you're using. Because some of them parallelize. So if it's something that's going to be working on a massive, also true, but if it's going to be working on a massive load of elements, it's more flexible, is the point, it's more flexible. And in terms of passing the type to parallelize, it's easily done later. So yes, prefer the algorithm library when it's available. Depends on your team as well, though. If your team aren't massively familiar with algorithms, sometimes it's better just to keep things simple for them if they struggle.
C++ is all about speed, isn't it? So if you're ruining the speed of your code, then you're completely right.
Has anybody managed copy if divisible by? This one. Got one. It passed. Passed the test. Two. Got two. Well, I won't pick on you again. Don't worry. Do what?
Struggling with the largest bit by 3.
Even sum. Let's find out. Oh. Can I just do that? That'll do them all, right? What? What's wrong with this? Oh, crap. Sod it, I'll just do the... Which one was it you said? I've got a compiler error. Wait, that's not... That's... Sorry? That's not us unreachable code. Stupid thing.
When you say sorted, what do you mean, ascending or descending?
Lower to higher.
Lowest to highest. Func indirection requires pointer. Wait, that's meant to be an iterator.
It's really not.
They said it was an iterator.
No, it's like
Oh, because they're using staff. Oh crap! It's the first one, not the other one. No, I think this is an iterator. No. All right, let's just try it. It was erroring. It was throwing me an error when it was like that. All right, Clang's just C-line's just stupid. Because I originally wrote it without any pointer indirection. Yes, it passes. Yeah. No, it threw an error at me, and I looked at the reference. I'm like, oh, it must be a pointer then. Oops. Cool. Okay. Who wants to have a go at explaining copy if divisible by? Nobody?
Just check for each n.
Okay, hold on. So you, wait, did you use stood for each?
No, I didn't. I just used range for loop.
Okay, so you've got. So what did you? What's your entire code? First line.
I used I declared a copy of divisible by, yeah. So I declared a standard vector
Like that.
result, and then used a range for loop for each n in there. Basically, if n modulo p is equal to 0, then push back n into result, and then decide result at the end.
So if what?
If n modulo p, if ln modulo p is in your
We're looking at that.
is equal to 0, then I push back or replace back again to and then return
Excellent. Yeah, that's good.
That's the last one. If you print that out,
Ollie, are you going to consider the answers? Your answers how to give up?
that I understand. That I understand.
Oh, you're not.
If you understand what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I have to stare at it.
Are people online submitting something to you?
Sorry?
People online are applying to submit something?
Yeah.
Okay.
They asking questions and
Are we more concerned compared to people coming in person?
sorry?
Say that again, sorry.
Very small.
To determine which data is
You mean today specifically for the match or in general?
In general, it's more people coming.
No, because we're only running one test at a time.
Yeah, but there are different assertions within each test, so it's like, oh, I don't know whether this is called array or if it's several arrays. I don't know.
That's just random. Check is sorted. So check is sorted.
I'm not supposed to sort those questions through if they are. So I'm getting a false positive or a false negative, but I'm not really sure which I equals I. Oh. For an I I'm iterating up to the vector size. That's fine. Checking whether the previous oh yeah, I had it open once. That's what I meant. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, see, I'm getting like some of them pass really, some of them.
Yeah, you're only checking it as the previous neighbour.
Yeah.
If I arrange a vector, right, and so I have the first element is 5, and the next one is 10, right? Then we'll go to say, next one is, you'll compare what 11 and compare 10 in that pass. Violate this. So I'm trying to.
And that's what I'm comparing. I'm saying that every element was bigger than the last one. When you print out the X, it doesn't matter where it starts. You don't get any pointers. You get a string.
Greater than.
Yeah, less than.
Because it doesn't matter. That's it doesn't matter. If we don't store, they can use the same value.
If I sorted the vector, I only had two 10 elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were originally correct though, that's not right.
It's not my.
Usually, you've got something like 1, 2, 2. I imagine we've got an vector, right? 1, 2, 2, 4.
Yeah, that's how I want to write it. That is sorted, and that was picking up saying, oh, that's even false. That was what that was doing.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I still need to
split
by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's returning false.
Yeah.
That's kind of how to make it.
Okay, right.
Right, so I need to get large.
So, how does modulo work with negative numbers? Because I think that's where I'm going wrong with largest div by 3. So if I didn't check, I can't quite get. It feels like it's something different than I'm used to about modulo. So, okay,
No, I can't do it.
Doing modulo 3 is equal to 0 for everything.
Let's find out. -6 or 3. So far.
So for this
Yeah, this is
file has this parallel.
Minus.
Yeah, that's what
No. Operation. It's a mathematical. It's positive. It's always positive.
right.
Well, C++ is mathematically not stupid. Also, JavaScript has everything internally as a floating point number. So just internally stupid. Externally stupid as well.
Not as bad as PHP, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, there's competition going on between PHP and PHP 7 has got like a lot better. PHP's got like nice class, oriented stuff.
as long as Erasmus manages it, it's easier for
So, largest divisible by 3, you're going to give it to
But you know what I mean?
What
I'm trying to do is add it to the result if it's. I'm trying to replace the result if n is greater than what the result is. And I've started at the first element because to account for the fact that all the numbers can be I started at zeros first, and then I realised string.
Your problem is that none of very long divisible by 3. So just testing is divisible by 0 there.
What do you mean?
So in the return statement, like result, checking for result is divisible by 0.
So don't worry about these brackets. No, but it doesn't.
So this 3, set 3.
Oh, divisible by
Yeah, module set 3, question mark. And then result times 0.
yeah.
It's probably a slightly better way.
Yeah, but yeah. Let's try that small doesn't want to do it. Right, okay.
Requirement for is sorted. Is that ascending or descending order or both? That's from Victor. Question on YouTube. Requirement for is sorted. Is that ascending?
Yes, it's lowest to highest.
Lowest to highest.
So that means that for each function, there's a number of tests that run a number of calls to the function with different inputs, and it tests the function.
Or if you want to do something
I can't think of those inputs, and so that's why you get for each test you get like
let's stop here. Dirty box.
So Alex, I think that's probably a better solution.
that's what I was doing originally.
Can't be. Well, let me make sure I haven't got it wrong. No.
Originally, because I was checking, starting at 0, the elements modular by 3, and is greater than that passes some of the tests, not all. So anyway, yeah, that's what that's what
Oh, I'm not handling negative numbers.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's signed. I mean, you can't beat that. Let's try. Oh, is it undeclared? Where's in min declared? Hold on. C limits. All right. Oh wait, no, limits. Here we go. This is the good stuff.
So you start at 0.
I always have a negative number. What is the...
We're just trying to work it out at the moment.
Standard numeric limits, brackets, angle brackets.
Template, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sort of
Sorted is
Wait, that's even worse. Ah, of course, because it's breaking the 0 case.
Oh, made this one hard, like.
Ah, it's not that hard. Oh, that's a bit shit though. Oh, that's just no. That's...
It's hard time, so you're.
It's hard time, don't tell me. How do I get this?
I can't think of it there. There's no really massively elegant way to do this, sadly.
This woman keeps secrets. So we have to keep secrets from her.
Is that not work?
No, it's everyone versus you.
No, because it's not handling the 0 case again, right? If we don't match any of them, I mean, you can... I'm not saying a Boolean's flag is stupid. That's a crap idea. I think honestly, yours is probably the way we did it with you is probably the best. Your one. No, it's not that it's a doozy. Like it's easy, right? You can just do like return ret doesn't ret equals stood numeric limits in min 0 ret.
But I mean, like,
I mean, you know the way this was intended. You know the way this was intended to be used, right? It's the intended solution is.
Just talking about this. It's not references.
That's literally the way you kind of you were meant to do it, because if you've noticed, every single one evolves on the previous, so you could just get the ones that are divisible. If it's empty, give 0. If it's not, give it back. Oh no, the negatives.
Not negatives. It's just you're returning the last thing that's divisible.
Oh, it should work, shouldn't
I
it?
didn't give you a sorted vector.
Oh, you didn't sort it, did you?
No.
And you didn't make anyone write a sort yet, did you, either?
Definitely not going to make people write sort. That's probably a bit beyond the scope of
Yeah, hold on.
You could sort it, but that's a bit more than you need to do. Standard max element would be good. Min element.
What's wrong with that?
You're just doing a lot more work than you need to do. You've got a billion things, you don't need to sort these or better.
So it's trying to learn the stuff, and so
What is it? What does max element return if there's nothing? 0? Is it? Oh, does it return an iterator? It returns an iterator.
So if the iterator is equal to
Yeah.
You mean just shift by 13 and C9?
I want to do 2, so how do you get either the one that's 2 or the one in the
Oh, you have to look at.
Okay, yeah. So basically, you need to jump.
I think you could have made this exercise should have been made unsigned. The negative thing is quite. That's too much for this level. Jesus.
Oh, I see. Can I start from the beginning?
Is anyone else struggling with this one? Largest divisible by 3?
Oh, no, then you just.
I just moved on to translation. Yeah, negative numbers, right?
Well, I don't know if So what is the what was the I had exactly
Let me enlarge. Yeah, I'll enlarge it. Yeah.
You add 13.
There's 2 solutions. That's one solution, 3 lines. That's another solution. You might understand it. Well, I've gone a bit fancy there. That's probably too much. Really. Let me de-fancy it. It's too much. It's too much.
So yeah, you start with +1.
start with
If it's not your number, you can start.
okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So if we're just doing that, we have to do a minus one, right? I just don't know how that works because it's getting me. Is this gonna work?
Yes. Well,
That should work. It gives me memory.
Sorry.
No, I need to. This is not going to work still.
You can't use index one.
Yeah.
So you can say
Yeah. IT
equals 0 to then you can say.
No, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. That's the truly correct solution. How did you actually implement this one? Because that's
the first way. I use copy for visible line. But there is a way to do it. You have to write a counting for visible line.
this is a bit too much for this. I think you shouldn't have done negative numbers. It's evil.
Sorry?
The negative numbers are evil for them.
I think the idea was to build. Each one builds on the last one, but each one also increases in difficulty. That's the point.
I mean, this builds on the last one and then sort of gives you a nice fist.
Yeah. That was the idea.
What?
That's what you wanted to
see
do,
it.
is to lull people into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
All of these are simple formulas.
Like, the difficulty curve is like divisible by 3. I don't know which between. I mean, no one's going to know max element. That's not going to happen. The logic here is pretty
Have a look in my solutions branch. You'll see
unkind. No, I'm just trying to think of a way. No, I'm more focused on trying to think of a way that's trivial. There's not a trivial solution.
the requirement to return 0 makes this harder.
Yeah, absolutely does. I'm just trying to think. There's no elegant. I can't think of an elegant way that would be easy to explain.
I think you can't do it without iterating over the thing twice.
I don't iterate over it twice. That does not iterate over it twice.
No, it doesn't, but it also is not correct.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, sorry, yes, you're right, yes, no, that's correct. Obviously the last return.
I'll alias that numeric limits.
Sorry?
Just context for the numeric limits, right? Is it a context for value, this one? Since what, 17? Since 17 or what? What?
Is the lowest integer represents 132 bit? Is it divisible by 3? Because if it is, I should have thrown that in the test, because that would break down. But the lowest representative integer, is it divisible by 3?
No.
I don't know. But if it is, I should have thrown it in the test, because it would break that.
The anti-factor still is.
Is int 32 bit on there?
Still fails. So what is so is an anti-factor?
Oh yeah, Windows is long.
So if it is already empty, then it's
Okay.
so that.
Yeah, you can do a
That's the max on Google. It's an even number, so it's definitely not divisible. Or
Why is this? It says all equal values, then should break. So if their equal value is also considered sorted because
that's smaller than C.
Thank you very much. So that memory violation is not considered
15 minutes.
it's not divisible by 3.
What's not visible?
Int min.
Int min 32 bit. Of course, that's platform specific.
So no, hold on. Why would that be
Because the minimum 32-bit unsigned value would vary depending on what sign mechanism it used. It might be, it might not.
With the negative numbers.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, 48 for 1 changes.
Oh yeah, how's the game going?
And IT?
It's still no at half time.
Has there been any close calls?
Yeah, I had one good chance. It's been mostly
Who they play?
Colombia.
So how many runs in football do you get?
Who bats first? You score fans.
Yeah, actually, I now realize.
Sorry? So who you gonna support?
After the final.
Oh, strings mutable.
It's likely to
Yes, unless the take cost.
Unless
Really annoying, it made me sign up for the ITV player just to watch this game.
Oh, it's the problem that you may shift into that range again.
Something.
Oh, I've only been half concentrating on it, but England had a few chances. It's been kind of bad attempts. It should have been sending off if we were back to see it. What's the point of video replays if they don't use it? What they do, they use it quite a lot in this World. It's new in the World Cup. But, yeah, yeah.
So the implementation is not working.
It's the same as it is. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's weak.
Yeah. It's 8:05. I know they show.
Yeah, oh, they do really good stand-ups.
Oh, right, yeah. just football cliches.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not bothering to
Yeah,
listen.
they do a joke about them just spitting out constant cliches.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get a line player.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, no, here we are. Coming out for the second half. Oh. Yeah, that's what I've done. Did you get a commentary with Johnny last? What, the England commentary? Yeah. They were quite happy about it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit impartial. Yeah. Well, the Germans have knocked us out of the World Cup so many times. It's nice to finally, for the first time in history, have a World Cup where we've got further than Germany. Well, 1966. Well, yeah. We played them. Yeah, played them in the finals. Yeah, this was the first World Cup ever when we played big games in Germany.
Something with you. I'm doing the ROT13. I've done this one, and I'm just trying to use it in the ROT13. I've done this thing before. It's influence. But I'm having trouble figuring out what is actually failing, what the inputs are failing. Maybe it's this.
So the requirements, spaces, numbers and punctuation should not be changed. So at the moment you're shifting
everything. Okay. Yes.
I don't know the ASCII tables.
I checked that.
Those are the
uppercase ones. I checked that it's 65 to 9. 65 to 9. And I'm saying greater than 64, less than 91.
What you can do is you can set a breakpoint. Just click on somewhere to the left.
Yeah.
Maybe on the tool.
Okay. Yeah. Run the test. It's going to break. Oh, sorry. Okay.
See, we've stopped here. So what it's doing is giving me STR that string. So now, if you take this button, step through one line at a time. This is 26 on each line, 65 lines. You have to jump through quite a few libraries. Okay. Basically, you'll be able to see exactly what the code is. So it was an empty string, so you haven't entered the format at all. So it looks like you're doing the right thing.
This is JavaScript.
Okay, so for empty string, so if you get down the playline, you'll run the program until it gets to this breakpoint again. Okay, so you just
hit the breakpoint.
So that gives you access to see the internals of standard string.
Okay, yeah, so I just need to keep clicking this.
So you know how we said that there was the range for focus?
So that should work.
Sugar for doing that was just showing you.
Cool, okay.
So I'm missing sing L is character number 84, which is T. So if you click this, again, you should jump to the function above.
Same thing.
Click the one.
Just
So now change this to G.
what if there's no value? Oh,
I can tell you what's happening. I just noticed. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you click through one more time, you'll be able to see for yourself. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it not trick? Is it not going through?
It's iterating through the string perfectly fine. But this L here, or this L,
It's, well, I assume it was a letter if it's string, but it's
okay.
a copy of
Exactly.
the letter
Yeah.
in the string.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you change that auto to auto and auto reference,
And then change this.
you don't have to change anything else. So now, instead of taking a copy of each letter, you're getting a reference to each letter. So now,
Okay.
if you run this,
Has everyone completed exercise 1 yet, or are we still?
Aside from that one with the divisible by 3, yeah.
No, nobody liked that one. I see. Okay.
So your code,
Which one?
I'm
the
surprised
upper
it was
one,
one
the upper
passes.
3 lines, it looks very
But
elegant, but
because it was
you
passing
should
those
get
one
into the
before.
same trouble, right?
and
If the negative number is a problem. Because you're going to run it
13 twice.
No, I
So
see.
I get the same original.
No, because it first of all gives me all of the elements divisible by 3, and then this just because this gives me back the biggest element, and it doesn't care if it's negative. It figures it all out. This library function figures it all out. The biggest element.
I understand that part. So let's just focus on the first line. Yeah?
Doesn't matter if it's negative. This doesn't. This returns everything that's divisible by 3.
So how is this different from his original code, which is element divided by 3? In this case, it's P equals 3.
Yeah.
And if your element is just a negative number,
It's still 0. If this is minus, if element is minus 3 modulo 3 is still 0.
then why can't we just directly have that? Why did we? I mean, I have this line in front of me. Why do I have the problem?
What's that?
Let
me look.
Question for you. Victor is asking if he will put this into Visual Code. Will the tests and so on work?
I don't know. If it hadn't CMake, it should do. It's just a CMake project with several targets.
I just get
Or rather, each directory is its own CMake project. So anything that handles CMake should work.
this is an alternative solution. So that's the smallest possible negative number. It's the most negative number. That's the most negative number. Which is not true.
So if I initialize my things as that,
Not quite, because then if you look here at the end, I checked if we didn't find anything. If it's unchanged, if we didn't find any, we have to return 0.
Because I could just loop around and get rid of the 13 until it ends up being in the range. Or I could just say the range is too far. Just too low. To keep iterating until you get it back inside. Okay, that's fine. So, good point.
Alright, so who's got a solution for is sorted that works?
Yeah.
Alex is going to give us his again.
Basically just started at the first index, not the 0th index, and compared the current index to the previous index. So yeah, iterated up to the size of the array.
Yeah.
Compared the current index to the previous index, and if the current index that I minus 1 is if I minus 1 is greater than I, then I just return false. And then
he done the test.
If I get to the end.
Yeah.
The question is, why did you even bother counting?
Just in case there are any problems with my exercises, but Ollie's doing such a good job.
Okay.
I think that's what I did.
We'll find out. You did, and it's correct. Very good.
Oh, Tristan, I solved that. Very much.
It's one of the Colombians, rather like a referee. Look what he's done to it.
You could also just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really easy solution here.
There is that one. I solved my problem.
But that where's the fun in that, right? That's too easy.
So you don't count that as an answer? I mean, strictly speaking, it's correct. It's correct. I mean, if you know that that's available, it's fine. But yes, if you want to learn the theory, this is good.
Just I just thought I need to check it. Yeah, if it's in, so if I'm shifting, how many states?
So if you rock 13 twice, you just keep shifting the number up. So you just keep adding 26 to 13, 26. Oh, sorry.
I'm just trying to.
So
I don't think I need to go round and round. I just need to remain there. Do you see what I mean? If you give me a big number. Yeah. I took your idea on board. I was just thinking all I need is if I had a big number. I keep it almost a final shift. So if I had, like you said, I need to do some tests. I need 65. always got to come down.
Right, right.
To
Okay.
right.
Less than
26.
Oh, you're my shit.
If I want to I have to do it in signature. Yeah, I want to add an output to the side.
Yes, it's
Add it here, but I don't know whether I need to give the default. I guess I really need to give the default. I want to give this function a default value for this second parameter. And I'm wondering, well, what I'm wondering is why it's highlighting here when the value that I've given this function is always the wrong function.
Is that
Have you done the straight one?
Alright, everyone's on exercise 2, I guess, now? Okay. Take it away. This will be uploaded later as well, so.
All the solutions are already up there.
I think some people want to see these funky ones. Alright, I'm moving on to exercise 2.
I'm trying to get rid of the if statement, if you know what I mean. Still out of the range.
So when you said shifts the character, you should say rotates the character, right?
Yeah, you are. You want
But you have to wrap around as well. So if you go to Z, you have to wrap around to whatever back to the just go from Z, you have to A, B, C,
something like it. It's a similar thing. It's, now when you do hours
so you have to know. So if you
hours to second, minutes to second,
Google ASCII codes, then
to get basically the uppercase characters at 65. Get short as right to
A is 65. When you get to 90, you have to wrap back around 65, which can go up. So,
all I'm interested in, right?
I only did it because I've done it.
I've done it before on Code One.
Yeah, so it should be there.
No, I nearly forgot. I took me a little minute to had to like scribble it down to get it.
That was what you were thinking.
It's actually one of the. It's actually the last algorithm challenge in
26.
Well, actually, no, the ROT13 is the second function. It's the last algorithm challenge in 3 code counts, basic algorithms.
Quick question, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with IDEs. What do I have wizardry I have to do to make the tests run this?
Are you on Sea Lion?
I've just got the VM from the website.
As long as you open the exercise folder directly, don't open the main folder. Open each.
Just that.
Yeah,
okay,
just
so
make,
it looks in the root.
Yeah, so you need to make. Don't open the actual main folder. Open the individual exercise
Okay, so
folders.
that's what I've done wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you right click on the CMake list folder,
You have to do it again.
you have to right click on the CMake list.
You have to do it again.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit confusing the layout because each of the 3 exercises are their own project. Sorry? No. It's another yellow card.
Oh, come on.
Whoops.
Okay, that's the top. So A. Okay, that's the check.
Far off am I? Need to get the difference. No, I've messed this one up.
What's that? What's that?
It's like a name.
Oh, it's not working
If it overflows, it wraps around, right? Whoops, wrong way around.
Why two?
That's right.
What does two give you?
Basically, it's because you're.
Press move to Z, return the object, otherwise if it's over Z, compute the difference, C plus 13, subtracting Z. What have I done wrong? Even I'm failing at this one. Oh, of course. Of course. Oh, still not there. Let's see, there's one.
Oh, sorry, okay, right.
What I missed was greater than Z. Oh, no.
No, I was desperately thinking, what is this? Is this a new variable name? Variable type. No, that's right, that's right. I never do I find it quite, I'm either ahead, my partner's either ahead, I've got stop and just go away. or you just like go ahead and we turn around and look at them and got that glaze and I think it happens 50-50.
Definitely it's better than that.
Less than this and or if it's in the punctuation range, you should have the numbers don't count, there's no numbers. So you just have to do like is it not just that you have to do like a chain kind of yeah, like if it's between this and this, and it's between this and this, or sorry, not if it's between this and this, or it's between this and this, or it's between this and this, yeah. Maybe if you find what it is and it's not. Just make sure whatever test.
Just to save a few characters.
Sorry?
Just to save a few characters, plus at.
I would have got there eventually. I just started speeding it on a bit. That's good. No, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It looks a lot cleaner than what I probably ended up with as well. No, failed.
What are the numbers? I was just modifying this and then like changing the numbers.
What's this? The shift chart. Oh, you got that. This one.
So who's solved shift char? 1, 2. How does it compare to this? So if C is out of range, then we just return it.
Yes.
Otherwise, compute the shifted value. Then return with a turning operator. Is shifted less than or equal to Z? If it is, then cool, just return it. If it's bigger than Z, then take that value, subtract the value of Z from it, and then add the at symbol, which just happens to be below capital A. Or you could do A minus 1, of course.
Just take 26 off.
I did it. Yeah, I did. I probably did the same as you.
Don't use magic numbers, just use the chars. Don't use magic numbers, you can use the chars. You know the hex value, but you
Okay. I did it with
C.
Don't know what I don't.
Oh, the casts to int are terrible.
Yes, I don't think I need the
value for 26.
You're doing modulo, okay? Just
Yeah.
approach. Yeah.
Okay, 0 is 22.
And then obviously the next one's super easy. Comparatively, this is much harder than doing the Rot 13 because you just reuse the code.
The encode is a bit tricky though. I'll get all the tests for that. Passing.
Alright, let's have a go in code.
Instead of 26?
Hmm?
What do you put in instead of 26?
I
Number
didn't.
26.
So let me enter presentation mode. So I just computed the difference.
So if it's overflowing, this is the case where it's overflowing, right?
Yeah.
I take the overflowed value, subtract z from it. So now I've got the result of this bracket.
Okay,
is
so you're subtracting 91.
Yeah. So say
and adding 65.
The value
which is the same.
At is 1 below a.
Yeah, yeah.
So you could just do capital A minus 1 as well. So what it's doing is imagine this was 1 after z, the result of 1, then you take the one below, so it will be a.
I just did the 26, so can I just put in the character for 20, whatever the 26?
You could be. If you're doing it with the modulo operator, it's better to just use 26. That's different. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay, yeah.
Also, this is a big tutorial with Git. You go through it and you should be able to.
I don't know, the only thing I think is wrong.
It's not going to be fast.
I'm not sure whether your stuff works.
Why did you put uppercase characters and punctuation returns new string? So is that saying that I should only shift uppercase and punctuation and leave everything else alone?
Yes, so exactly as you've done before, except find arbitrary number of places instead of fixed 30.
This would be good enough to do this kind of stuff, and then the rest is just pretty nice. But eventually,
What about char overflow?
anyway, we clone, and for now we don't care. We just do.
What if it's character 255?
You're only shifting uppercase characters.
And punctuation?
No. The string consists of uppercase and punctuation. With each character,
Yeah.
For everything so far, we're only shifting capital letters. Anything that's not a capital letter will have a change.
Associate an input with a test, so you can't directly see what input has failed, what tests.
Which language? It's also a bit more complex. You must also wait to compare Python for a fixed translation. Is the proper language for machine learning and like because it has a lot of libraries with different flow and so on. It's not like getting to just as well. That will also allow you to do things at lower level and so on. But in terms of jobs that you want to do with the machine learning, artificial intelligence and so on, Python. So again, if you want a job of Python or become a web developer, then yeah. JavaScript right now, in terms of demand on the market, will more than 50% of the market. Because web development on its own is start on.
How do you go about debug this? What's the best
I'm not sure.
So if you look for 100 developers, 70 are going to work on web. And JavaScript
you can actually open the test file and see the strings that I'm using and the values.
Yeah.
If you want a job,
Oh, that's no good.
if you do this kind of stuff, it will not be difficult for you to move to JavaScript.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, if you put on. Okay, so really like store yeah, they refreshed recently for camp, I think.
So if you shift it by 30 places, it should still wrap around, right?
Sorry?
If you shift it by 30 places.
Yeah.
Okay.
A shift of 30 would be equivalent to a shift of 4.
Borrow your eyes. So I decided to print things out because I couldn't figure out what is going on. Okay, so what I figured is that like this is the info strategy and this is what you need to do, right? And then blah 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 and
Okay, so that's the expansion that you're generating, which is that one, GUPF.
that's me.
Yeah, and that's what it's expecting. Get 104, same thing, it's generating the same output. It's expecting 104 to give you back this.
I can't pass the test for negative one.
Yeah, I'll do some really evil
So
tests.
how can it work? Because I'm using exactly the same function. I didn't write anything new. So what I did is that I'm calling my shift char by and since the shift char by n supposedly worked.
Okay, well it works for 13.
Oh, no,
All the printing sometimes it could and then no matter what you
Still failing on something. Oh, is the next one?
Yeah.
I think what a negative shift means.
Oh, you do negative shifts.
Sorry.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know if there's going to be a meeting this Thursday?
Sorry?
Do you know if there's a meeting this Thursday?
I think so.
Look into that one.
Yeah, it could be. Actually, no, I got something here. So it's most likely Friday.
I'm not here, but
So a shift of
Why?
no,
Something
I'm
already.
not
Yeah.
I'm not forcing you, I'm just asking you.
Yeah. No, then most likely Friday. I mean, you can call in if you want.
No, I'm busy doing something on Friday afternoon.
Oh, I see.
So we get rid of
Ooh, you didn't want to do that?
the
It didn't shift.
So shift of all. Oh no.
Let's do this. Let's hope it will. Oh, it didn't mess up. Touch screens are horrible.
I find it annoying.
Alright, now he's giving you a result. After the
I think that much. Yeah.
automation else is never going to use it because we always install. Okay, so you can move it left to right. Now should be fine. Please indent properly because this is Do yourself a favor. The reason is that
No, but I'm like that. Somebody writing and comment that. I'm just trying to try.
I will not, but that's also if I was interview, I would never hire somebody who is going to call. Because we are going to put in a code base and everybody's going to be crazy to put history. And it's not in the show that you
I think I just screwed myself. I was testing the wrong. I was running the wrong test.
Interesting. Do you know if there is a Prettify extension for Style?
Prettify?
Yeah.
To do what sort of thing? There is you can there is a there are some formatting options that automatically do it. I think if you go to or C-line,
I will after I finish testing.
edit, re-indent or something like that. Can't remember exactly.
You don't return. You don't need. You don't need else.
What about odd numbers?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Think what happens when if you don't put else.
So for even if it returns,
Yes.
for odd doesn't do anything.
Oh, that just indents everything.
If it's even, it returns true.
I can't. I think there is a way
If it's odd,
Yeah.
if I don't put odd,
If you don't put else, what is going to happen?
or
So
return
if you go
true.
into the options,
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because remember the return is like a door out of a function. There is an error in that function.
In here,
Yes.
how can I find out there's a zero?
You want to compare, not assign.
code start.
Oh.
Should be able to change it
Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. But it's better if you learn how to indent and format properly on your own. And get started on it. He's lazy every time that you say, I'm done like that and not change it. That is what.
Why it's asking to return and to invert it? It asks me to
5 minutes.
invert
It's 5 minutes to go, and suddenly Columbia were playing really well.
He's a suggested way that the idea is not an error.
Yes.
If you think about it,
You mean they're
you can
winning?
make.
No, England are winning.
So for
It's
this
only
one,
1-0.
can I, should I sit out for instance their return? Because they put return, right? I should sit out because they want, if it's more than 1 month.
That's correct, yeah, but they have wasted so much time, they're going to be like 6 minutes valid.
If you do this, in your loop, as soon as you encounter this condition, it goes out. So for example, you have your own vector, which is 1, 2, 3, and so on. It starts and it finds 0, no, okay, I proceed. 1, okay, and it returns a 1. You don't count it. You should declare initially a counter variable. Yeah, which you initialize it. You want a counter, you initialize it to 0. And inside the loop, you increment the counter variable every time there is this condition. When the loop is done, you return the counter. Anyway, I was actually this one before. Probably, yeah. Probably this is suggesting that you can simplify it like this. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I was running the wrong test. Whoops.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah.
Because we're doing if a condition returns false, otherwise it returns false. At this point, you just return the condition.
Yeah.
Is
Good.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
that's nice.
That's one.
The next one.
So before the problem.
Yeah,
But that is the index of the counter of the for loop. You want to use, and which also means, because it declared here, when you finish the for loop, that is going to be flashed away. It's not going to leaves and that is not the scope. You before the for loop,
keep asking your is
luckily it does that, so you also have a more granular way to look.
So what I do is I see out, I print.
You should not print. You should return a number. Read the text. Return the number of the odd number. You should not return that.
Sure. What I should do, I make another record.
No, you just need a variable. You just need an integer. You just want to count. You don't need to return the odd number. You want to count the odd number. This is a typical problem. I will give you some tips.
But this is already yes. Gotcha. Oh, yes.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
Think how you might finish from your run.
Getting to a negative value.
So your counter initially is 0.
Everything works except this one, which is weird. Why the inverse should work.
Are you in encode?
Everything works except encode, and I used encode. I just decode. Sorry, everything works except decode, and decode is just encode with negative n.
That means that you are going to
So
Everything works except decode.
what if I call you with something twice as big? If I call you 50?
Let's take a modulo 26. Oh fuck, that's fine.
So this look anyway. You know this part is called the signal.
I'm trying to divide something with minus?
The function is called
Oh, hold on. Just because I use 26, that's fine. Is that what I'll do?
only a constant reference to a factor of it.
Why you put counter here? I is counter. I is going to the...
Fuck, I don't want to debug it. No, don't debug.
Don't get the
That is an index. We need, well, this is an index for the counter I, okay? You may wish.
No, it's not going to work.
When your condition is met and you're done with the error again.
It's because the way in which I do the encoding, I could, this is crud, but
that one we have
no, that still doesn't work.
You need to model that 26.
I think I've made a passing solution that slightly tricks your tests.
Finally. I sussed out Tristan.
Because he's doing decode 22.
I sussed out the encode.
Oh.
So I use modulo to wrap around, and I've just use modulo on the n that you pass in as well. That works.
Yeah, something like
It's consistent here.
Exactly. You can do that. It's a perfectly right. This is how you do. I want to show you what this is how you do.
Hard coding, I see.
Yes.
you don't put that.
Taking the pin
Yeah.
And then
But it's correct. If the element, okay, is that is the condition so that it is the counter.
I don't think it's have any nearby. There might be some.
I think attached to the way we found is the fact that it's also not go below 0. And finally go back to
Is there a counter?
Yes.
Oh, I think it's the first one. The first one was how many odd numbers
As a, again,
I was thinking to create a 11.
that is an error that a lot of people do in the beginning, which SC and you want to just pay up to the solution.
Done.
You will learn with this one, so that spending like 1
And my solutions are nothing like Tristan's.
will save you a lot of time. Sure.
I get the question. I was thinking
I even tell you return a SC over the return. Yeah. Try the next one. The next one, before you type anything, you explain to me what's the difference.
Alright, who's got some solutions and would like to go through them? And maybe compare to what I've marvellously come up with. Not really, at all.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I give someone else. Who just scored? Who just scored? Who just scored?
By n.
Oh.
So my head in my hands might tell you.
He seemed really happy to be friendly.
Oh, the original size is from the previous edition?
Yes.
Oh, because I remember they solved it.
Yeah, yeah. So ignore this function I'll get to in a second, but we got our shift char, which I refactored into an arbitrary one. So the simple naive solution for shift char starts actually on line 13. So we just first of all check if it's out of range, z greater than z or less than a. Ignore this none. If it's greater than z or less than a, return c. Then we finally do calculate the shifted value. So num was hard coded to 13 previously, so just c plus 13. And then we return. Well, first of all, what do we return? If shifted is less than or equal to z, then cool, we can return shifted. If it's greater than z, we subtract z from shifted and then add the value below a. So do a minus 1 instead of at. I just happen to know that at is below a. So it works. Then we get to the ROT 13. It's obviously, this is really easy now because you can just call shift char. And obviously it's just going to shift it for you. That's not difficult. And then if we go down, our encode function is taking, again it's just iterating, now it's got shift char arbitrary, which I refactored into, so you got this. Now we care, so we just take the number modulo 26, we check if there's also, we now check if it's null as well, because there's nothing to do, skip. Otherwise we go over it as usual. And then finally for the decode, in order to fit within this logic, we just call encode. Std move is just me being fancy, don't worry, you can just do str. And you then just you pass it 26 minus the remainder of n modulo 26. That's it.
I just changed for the passing an arbitrary one. I just changed the signature of the shift chart so that
I basically did the same thing. I copied and pasted and then renamed it. It just calls this arbitrary. Yeah, absolutely. That's the meat of the solution.
What is
Sorry?
Is that a zero? The last one is a or zero? Is that
Where am I pointing? Where? Or zero, yeah.
Is that a zero?
Same as zero. Zero evaluates false. So you can do equals 0, or you can do exclamation mark.
Okay. So you can from an outflow. Oh, come on. Yeah, but it needs to rain and it needs to be stationary water because when you run somebody, they don't.
I did have to think about these ones. I was trying to come up with something reasonably compact and elegant.
Yeah, well, leave it there. I got the count from
So shift char just calls this one with 13. But I use this clamps the value, obviously, clamps the range. So you get the remainder. If I want to shift by 30, I really just want to shift by 4.
yeah.
So where do you do the calculation where if it is negative 104?
I don't care. This modulo will make sure it's always positive.
Okay. That's basically what I did here. So
That can take a negative not in line.
Oh yeah, it works. It passes all tests.
I take the character, I take 65 off it.
1
Then I
minute.
add whatever n is.
What are we doing for homework?
Exercise 3.
So the whole thing, we got 26, and then I have 65 back on again to get back into the character.
It's just Tristan's solution branch does not do it like me.
Did I do it a very clever way?
I think I did it a more clever way, but that's me. Just being, egotistical. I don't know. I quite liked your solution here was you did it totally differently. You just did negative n, but because I clamped it to be positive, I have to obviously take the remainder. But the meat of this is here. Has anyone done exercise 3? Good, that's your homework. Oh, you've done it? Oh, you got no homework? Well done. There's like 3 separate.
The CSV reader.
Ah, no, that.
What did you say? Exercise 3 as in like...
Yeah, there's 3 different projects, right? 1, 2, and 3.
I thought exercise 2, number 3.
Oh, no. Okay, so you have got homework. Okay, excellent.
Did you just, this one, did you just use
I just,
Well, it's 9 o'clock. Let me just round off. What are we going to cover next week, Tristan? Right. So it's 9 o'clock, so we're getting close to kicking out time. Oh, we're actually literally past kicking out time. If you can do exercise 3 of this by next week, that'd be wonderful. And next week we're going to cover the fancier parts of C++, like structs. We're going to start gently breaking you into the object-oriented concepts, although we're not quite going that
creating
far.
creating your own types
Yeah.
will be the first thing.
Creating your own types.
Constructors and destructors and that sort of thing.
Which is halfway onto object-oriented programming. So we're getting you there. Yeah, once again, thanks everyone for coming. We're going to do our usual pub bit, and I think Tom wants to round off as he always does. Come on, you've got to do it. Get up here.
Yeah, I think
No. You did the finishing.
All right.
Very good.
So if everyone wants to come and join us for a drink, we'll be at Beer Schenker as usual.
Yep.
Not for quite a while. Eventually, yes. Okay.
You've included in this one.
Not in the basic. We'll do it in the advanced.
I have to leave early though.
We have a